All right, today we will finish up our discussion of inches, and we're going to finish with just two more word problems, and then we are going to start discussing centimeters and talking about what those are. All right, first we will start with our word problem. Jeff is 46 inches tall. Jason is 38 inches tall. How much taller is Jeff than Jason? How much taller is a word that we use in word problems, and it actually tells us that we should be subtracting. So we're going to take 46, which is how tall Jason is, minus 38. I'm sorry, Jeff is 46. Jason is 38. And we are going to subtract those two numbers. We're going to start with our ones place. We can't do 6 minus 8, so we're going to go to the 4 and make it a 3. And then we're going to go to the 6 and make it a 16. And then we're going to subtract down. 16 minus 8 is 8, and 3 minus 3 is 0. So how much taller is Jeff than Jason? Jeff is 8 inches taller than Jason. Okay, let's look at our last inches word problem. Brendan is 52 inches tall. Ashley is 30 inches tall. What is the difference between Brendan and Ashley's height? Difference is our word there that we're looking at, and a difference means that we should be using subtraction because the answer to a subtraction problem is called the difference. So we're going to take Brendan's height, which is 52, minus Ashley's height, which is 30, and we're going to see what we get. We're going to start with our tens place. 2 minus 0 is 2. Then we'll look at our tens place. 5 minus 3 is 2. So what is the difference between Brendan and Ashley's height? It is 22 inches. When you're done with that, you can go ahead onto the next page. We're going to start talking about centimeters. So here is our centimeters page. And if you look at our ruler, we have been focusing so far on our bigger numbers, or numbers that are spread more apart, which are inches. Now we're going to take our ruler and we're going to flip it over. And our smaller numbers, and the ones that are more closely together, those are called centimeters. And this is just another way to measure. This is called the metric system. Okay, so when I flip my ruler over, my numbers are upside down for centimeters. So that means that I'm going to have to measure on top of my lines so that I can see them. Some of you might have your numbers the other way, and it makes it easier. Whatever works for you so that your numbers are upright so that you can see them. Okay, so first we're going to do just what we did in inches. We're going to estimate the length of each one of these objects. Estimating is making a guess. So if I look at this skateboard and I look at my inches, right, they're much smaller. I'm sorry, I look at my centimeters. They're much smaller than my inches. So we're going to have more centimeters than if we were to measure in inches. So if I look at my skateboard and I think about how big a centimeter is, I'm going to estimate that this skateboard is 20, and we write CM for centimeters, and that's the abbreviation for centimeters. And then we'll come back and we will actually measure that object. Let's go ahead and look at these two. We have this baseball player, and we have our cart. Let's look at our baseball player. So again, we're thinking in centimeters, so much smaller than our inches. So if I'm looking at this, I'm going to say I think that she's about 11 centimeters tall. And then if I look at my car, I'm going to think about my centimeters again, and I'm going to guess that the car is about 9 centimeters. And once I've made an estimation of each one of my objects, I'm going to go back and I'm actually going to measure them in centimeters. So like I told you before, my centimeters are this way. So I have to measure starting at the top, and that's okay if you have to do that. You just want to make sure that you're lining up your line with the end of the ruler or wherever your 0 is at. Okay, so you want to make sure that your 0 is at the end. And again, we're going to be measuring to the nearest centimeter, so whichever one it's closest to. So if I go on over, I notice that it's a little bit in between the 18 and the 19, but it is closer to 18. So how long is this skateboard? It is about 18 centimeters. Okay, now let's go measure our baseball player. I'm going to turn my paper so it's easier for me to do. I'm going to make sure I'm using my smaller numbers, my centimeter numbers. I'm going to line up my 0 with the end of, I'm going to line up my 0 with the end of my line. And then I'm going to follow my line up. And it is in between the 9 and the 10. It's almost at the half mark, but it is definitely closer to the 9 than it is the 10. So this baseball player is 9 centimeters long. And last but not least, we're going to measure the length of this race car. Okay, so I have to use my smaller numbers, my centimeter numbers. I'm going to put it on top of my line. I'm going to measure up the 0. I'm going to put my 0 on the end of my line. And then I'm going to go all the way across to where the end of the line is to see where it's at. Again, it's in between the 8 and the 9, but it's not past the half mark yet. So this is 8 centimeters long. Now my estimations were pretty close, but they weren't exact, and that's okay because those were guesses. And if you notice, our centimeters are bigger. The numbers are larger than our inches because inches take up more room than a centimeter takes up. All right, so today what I would like for you to do is go finish up the one activity in our seesaw, and then I want you to go work on your IXL skill. When you're done today, you can press the green and white check mark. Good job.